Welcome back to our YouTube channel, guys. My name is Ardil, and today's video is all about a VW Amarok that we've got an epic sound system going into. Today is the first video, an introductory video on a behind the sound series that's going to go through everything from today's video, which goes through the product overview, all the way to what's actually the final product, the tuning, all of the fabrication involved to get this car to where it's going to be. It's going to sound absolutely awesome. There's loads of content coming, so make sure you guys at home have hit that subscribe button. Remember, we're giving away a brand new PlayStation 5 as well as an Audison Premium amplifier as soon as we hit 10,000 subscribers on our channel. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, share it with friends and family, but let's get on to it. Let's start off then with the higher frequencies at the front end of the vehicle. What we're using is a Hertz Melee Legend tweeter, a really phenomenal bit of kit. This tweeter will be sitting behind a stock location. What we'll also be doing as part of this series is actually filming something called Sound Off, which is really worth watching. You actually see what you get from stock. So when we remove the tweeter, you'll see what it actually is and comparing that to the Hertz Melee Legend range. The reason why we're using a Hertz Melee Legend tweeter on this occasion is because this is the best possible tweeter that we can get into a complete stock location. So to have an invisible look, but optimum sound, that's exactly why we use the Hertz Melee Legend tweeter. And this does vary depending on vehicle, but we'll show you in later videos how we actually mount this behind quite a thin panel here and retaining a stock look. So going into a stock location inside the door, what we're actually using and upgrading the factory speaker with is the Hertz Melee Legend 6.5-inch driver. And again, an amazing product that's going to give loads of mid-bass down into the front well, but also what we've got is a completely hidden stock location. The other very important thing that we'll be talking about is soundproofing, which is going to be doing 100 sheets of soundproofing on the vehicle, which is a hell of a lot of soundproofing, but that's building a far better environment for these speakers to work in inside the door. Inside the rear door, we're actually upgrading the speaker there as well for rear fill, creating a far better acoustic environment in the vehicle. Again, in a stock location, you're not going to see anything here, but what we're upgrading the factory speaker with is a Hertz Centro range. The Centro Pro range is a very similar design to the Hertz Melee Pro, but a phenomenal rear fill speaker. You've actually got a co-axial design here, mostly because you've not got a factory location for a separate tweeter. However, they perform really well, creating that rear fill. Basically, what a coaxial speaker is you've got a tweeter built into the actual main 6.5-inch driver speaker itself, providing a full range speaker quality, but we're actually going to be running, in terms of the actual lower frequencies, that's going to be taken over by the sub, which we'll move on to later. So one of the key parts about an OEM integrated system, so what I mean by that is we're using the factory radio in the car as a media source. It's very important that we're using processors to actually de-equalize and correct all the issues that come out from the factory systems, creating a clean signal ready for amplification. A really compact design, Class D amplification range that we're using here is called the Audison Amplifier. We use this a lot. You would have seen it in our Audi R8 video that we recently did as a full behind the sound series. Very compact design, designed to be completely hidden away, but also allow the ability to run a full vehicle of sound from the actual amplification setup. But we've also got built-in processing power to de-equalize the radio, correct all those issues, plus we can use the tuning via BitTune to actually get this car sounding amazing. So a very small form factor. We've got 8 channels of amplification in here, running at 85 watts per channel. What we're running the system as is using all 8 channels on 6 speakers. The 6 speakers are channels 1 and 2 for the tweeters. 3 and 4 will actually be running the left-hand Melee Legend woofer in the door. 5 and 6 will then be running the driver's side Melee Legend woofer. Then we've actually got channel 7 and 8 running the rear speakers because they're a coaxial design. Running what's called a fully active system, which means we get great control via the processor, which you'll see more in the tuning video. However, this amplifier is going to be completely hidden away. But one really cool and reason why we've actually used this amplifier is because of this little connector here. This is what's called a pre-out. It's got a sub pre-out that allows us to basically plug a sub into the amplification setup. And what that allows us to do is tune the sub frequencies all live directly from here as well. So to plug into the sub output from the actual Audison amplifier, we're actually using an Eaton 10-inch sub. This sub is going to be completely hidden away. You're going to be hidden by hiding this behind the rear seat. It's going to be a phenomenal bit of kit, and this is actually what I run in my truck as well at the moment. So obviously the systems I use in my vehicles change all the time, and we always try and test out every single option that we would recommend to our customers. These are phenomenal bits of kit. Once they're mounted correctly, they really do perform. They've got a lot of weight to them, but also this has got an internal amplifier to it. So this is what's called an active sub. A phenomenal bit of kit that can also be moved from car to car as well later on. So this whole system can actually be reversed completely as well, which is really nice. And all that product is actually retainable for you to move to the next car. But this sub, for instance, this can be moved individually to another car if you didn't want this in the next car, for instance, and you only wanted the amplification setup. But a phenomenal bit of kit that's really shallow in depth, but also allows us to actually not take up any room on this setup, because everything is going to be completely hidden away behind these rear seats. It's going to be built on a custom bracket, which we'll show you in future videos. So make sure you guys at home stay tuned and make sure you carry on watching our Behind the Sound series on this vehicle, because there's loads of content coming. So make sure you stay tuned. So we're all wrapped up here on today's Behind the Sound video. It's a bit of an introductory video going through where products are going to be placed on the actual install. However, there's loads more content coming. We're about to start on the vehicle. We're about to strip the car down completely, add those sheets of soundproofing in, getting a far better environment for the system to work in, plus upgrading all those speakers like we've gone through in today's video. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below. And remember guys, we've got that competition running as well. Plus there's going to be an awesome video, which is something called Sound Off, which actually goes through what you get from stock when you buy a VW Amarok to what we're actually putting in. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you soon.